Everyone should experience the best episode of Lost at least once. With 6 seasons and more than 100 episodes, there is no shortage of great Lost episodes, but one stands out above the rest. While it is not generally considered to be the best episode, the 2-part pilot is one of the all-time greats. From the shot of Jack Shephard, Matthew Fox, opening his eyes to the immediate aftermath of Oceanic Flight 815's crash, the beginning moments of Lost are gripping and immediately make the audience feel hooked. Other well-regarded Lost episodes include the 2-part Season 3 finale, Through the Looking Glass, and the Season 6 episode, Ab Eterno, which largely focus on Charlie Pace, Dominic Monaghan, Richard Alpert, Nestor Carbonell, and many of Lost's other best characters. As phenomenal as these episodes are, there is another one that is in a class of its own. Every fan will agree that The Constant is Lost's best episode. It stands above the other all-time greats. Sayid and Desmond looking at George Minkowski while trapped in the sick bay in the Lost episode, The Constant. Lost fans can be passionate and disagree on many aspects of the series, but one thing almost everyone can agree on is that The Constant is the best episode. On IMDb, The Constant has the highest rating of any episode with a 9.7 out of 10, which outranks Through the Looking Glass, Ab Eterno, and other beloved episodes. The Constant primarily follows Desmond Hume, Henry Ian Cusick, as his consciousness fluctuates between his past in 1996 and his present in 2004. As instructed by Daniel Faraday, Jeremy Davies, Desmond must find a constant, someone or something familiar in both time periods that will ground him and allow his consciousness to fully return to 2004. Desmond's girlfriend and the love of his life, Penny Widmore, Sonia Walger, is the constant he needs to make contact with, but this is easier said than done, with Sayid Jarrah, Naveen Andrews, being the only person he can definitely count on aboard the freighter. It is an enticing setup, and the payoff cements The Constant as Lost's best episode. What makes The Constant such a special Lost episode? It's a perfect sci-fi love story. The Constant is special because it cleverly uses time travel to tell a moving love story that stands the test of time. Lost's time travel causing Desmond's consciousness to alternate between 1996 and 2004 is a compelling hook, and the episode makes the stakes feel real and emotional. Desmond's survival and sanity are on the line, but it is the power of his love for Penny and the couple's faith in each other that ultimately saves the day. It is a perfect blend of science fiction elements and a story of stirring romance that transcends time. Earlier episodes impact The Constant, and it has ramifications for later episodes. At the same time, it is just as effective as a largely standalone episode that can be enjoyed and appreciated on its own. Lost had highs and lows, but The Constant is a television classic. The Constant has excellent rewatch value. The Doctor shines a light in Desmond's eyes in The Constant. Lost inevitably has lackluster episodes alongside the all-time greats, but The Constant is an undeniable classic. It is not only Lost's best episode, but is arguably the best sci-fi episode to ever air on television. No matter how many times I watch it, The Constant is always riveting to watch. The phone call between Desmond and Penny always makes me emotional and renews my faith that true love can exist. It also reminds me of why I love science fiction, as the more fantastical elements can be utilized to tell a deeply human story. Desmond and Penny's relationship is the heart of the episode, but I also love how it highlights the underrated friendship between Desmond and Sayid. Even though Sayid does not fully understand what is happening, he puts his faith in Desmond, and does his best to help his friend navigate the situation. When I think of Lost, The Constant is often one of the first things that I think of, as it is an example of the show at its very best. It is also an example of how Lost manages to stay fresh and subvert its formula, which in this case it accomplishes by tackling the episode's 2 timelines in an inventive and rewarding way. Lost is more than worth watching despite the divisive ending. The Constant is only one of many fantastic episodes. While it is not as prevalent as it once was, there has, unfortunately, been a narrative that Lost's divisive ending makes it not worth watching. This narrative is largely rooted in a fundamental misunderstanding of what happens in the series finale. I personally love Lost's ending, as I feel it is a rewarding culmination of the rich character development. All the mysteries that I cared about the most are answered, and even though some questions are not explicitly answered, enough clues are left for the audience to put the pieces together for themselves. Not everyone agrees with this sentiment, and regardless of how one feels about Lost's ending, I still believe the entire show is worth watching. The Constant is the best episode, but there are plenty of others that are also profoundly entertaining, thought-provoking, and emotional. Those who refuse to watch Lost are doing themselves a disservice and missing out on one of the greatest shows ever made.